G'day, welcome back to the channel. My name's Matt, but you all know me as WFX Malice. Today's a bit of a special video. I've got a massive bombshell that I'm going to drop that I don't think anybody could have predicted at this point. I do have a 17-year-old bottle of single malt scotch right here as a bit of a celebration to earmark this video. Let's get started. So for those of you that have been following me since the start, you would have remembered in one of my first few videos, I'd just come back from hospital, I'd had emergency surgery. Now, I didn't tell anyone what that was about at the time. I sort of left that to be uncovered later on. And today is the day where I'm gonna drop the bombshell and tell you guys all about my medical journey over the last couple of months. So I'm gonna take a few steps back. Prior to me going to hospital, I was very fit. I used to run 5 times a week, 6 times a week. I'd do a park run every Saturday morning. Look, New Year's Day, I did back-to-back park runs. So while you guys are all in bed feeling hungover and sorry for yourselves, I'd run 10 kilometers by 8:30 in the morning. This time last year, I ran a half marathon, which is 21.4 kilometers in 2 hours, 2 minutes. So not the fastest of runner, but definitely enthusiastic about running and definitely good with endurance. I'd gone for a run the Friday morning before I turned up to work. I felt sick during the run, which is unlike me. I was dry reaching. Got to work, I still hadn't stopped sweating. I was feeling very pasty, felt like I had a real fever, and really felt under the weather. The boss saw me and he took a look at me, and this is right as coronavirus had just been sort of put out there as to look out for it, and if you're feeling sick, go and get tested. So at work, they sent me down to the hospital. They said, no, you need to go and get yourself checked out. So that wasn't clickbait in my video. I did get checked out for coronavirus. I did think that I had coronavirus. It turns out they went and did some scans and they diagnosed me with an enlarged spleen. They booked me in for a further scan on the Monday to say, come back and we'll double check the results and then we'll start to work on some treatment for that. They said, if you do feel bad over the weekend, go to the emergency room. And Saturday morning, I woke up, I was shivering in a cold sweat, boiling hot in North Queensland's tropical weather. I had a hoodie, tracksuit pants, and I was rugged up in a blanket, still shivering. I felt like my back, I was laying on a bed of coals, and the front felt like I had a big knife or something sharp in my stomach, just twisting it around. I couldn't stand it. My wife drove me to the hospital. I did get checked out. They did another coronavirus test just to make sure anything wasn't there. And it turns out I had stage 2 cancer. So I was lucky I went to the hospital when I did, because if I had let it go any longer, I probably wouldn't be alive today. So what had happened was the cancer had started perforating my intestines, and it actually perforated my bowel, which was allowing all that yucky stuff that's in the bowel to start seeping out into my body. So my body was going into septic shock, which means your intestines and all your organs start shutting down. If I had let it go for another couple of days, yeah, I probably would have been dead, and that's the truth. Thankfully, they booked me straight in for emergency surgery. They just told me at the time that I had some sort of abscess or some sort of growth inside my stomach. They didn't tell me how bad it was or what it was. I had it all removed. I had spent a few days in hospital recovering, and then I went home and I spent another week or 2 recovering, where I basically had to roll out of bed. I couldn't even sit up because my stomach had been sliced open. It was only until a week later I went back to have my staples removed, and the doctor said that everything had gone well and they're glad they got the cancer out and they want to book me in for chemo. And I'm shocked. I looked at him and I said, what? No, it wasn't cancer. I said it was some sort of growth. He says, yeah, that was a cancer. Right. So I guess from a positive point of view, it was good in a sense that I didn't find out I had this at the start. It was good that I found out I had this later on, because I didn't need all that stress while I was recovering. A lot of people, when they get diagnosed with cancer, it's going in, thinking they've got it, getting tested for it, waiting for those results for the test, confirming they've got it, and then booking in time down the line to go in and start getting surgery and treatment. For me, it was basically, I was recovered from my surgery, then I found out I had it, and I was starting treatment within a week or 2. So for me, it was an accelerated process, and thankfully for that, look, like I said, I didn't have to stress out, I didn't have to worry about it, didn't have to stress my family out for all those weeks and months leading up to it. So for anyone who's watched my videos in the last couple of months and thought, gee, that guy looks really pasty, he looks like he's under the weather, he doesn't look in good shape, you are correct. For the last 20 odd weeks, I've been going through chemo. So That means going in once every 3 weeks for an infusion where they put a drip in your arm for about 4 hours. They flush you through with this chemical, and then they send you home with a bunch of tablets, and you're taking 4 tablets twice a day. So it's been a hard ride. You get limited rest periods between each cycle of treatment. I've had 8 cycles, so 8 infusions and 8 lots of tablets. It's been a long ride. It's been a big process. And so for anybody in Melbourne or Sydney that's complaining about having to self-isolate for 6 weeks, I've been in self-isolation since February. That's right, it's like being on home detention, but I don't have the ankle bracelet thing to stop me from leaving the house. Instead, I have germs and death threatening me if I leave the house. It's been very hard for me, and that's why all my videos have been in my office, tied up in my house. Now, I thought I'd do this video here in the shed just to symbolise the fact that I am able to get out a little bit more. I'm not confined to that one little closed space. So that's sort of why I'm here. I know a little bit noisy, it's a little bit messy out here, it's a little bit different, and probably a little bit bright behind me there. I'm gonna have to do something about that. I do want to start filming more videos in here because this is where I do a lot of my work. Electronics, woodwork, metalwork, everything's done right here. So for anybody who has been diagnosed with cancer, or if you've got someone in your family that's been diagnosed with cancer, it's not the end of the world. There is life after it. Our modern medicine is excellent and will get you through it. So look, I'm just going to say keep your head up and stay positive. Positivity, positive mindset is the biggest healer of almost anything. I mean, I'm not going to say that ignore medical advice and just stay positive. No, you still need to get medical treatment. You still need to get that medical help. But look, you just need to stay positive and stay happy. Now, I did record a chemo vlog. When I started out, when I first had my first cycle of treatment, look, I was really bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and I thought, I'm going to do a chemo vlog every single day and tell people what's going on. Well, that was great for the first cycle, but at the end of the first cycle, you realise it's nothing new the second time around. Things do feel a little bit weird and a little bit different each cycle through, but it didn't require a daily vlog. So I did sort of cut that away by about the second or third cycle. I'll tell you guys all about all the side effects. I'll tell you now, one of the biggest ones is hand and foot syndrome, and that's not hand, foot, and mouth, just so people are clear. It's basically numbness of the hands and feet. You get severe pins and needles where you can't feel parts of your feet and parts of your hands. So for me, I can't feel my fingertips and I can't feel my toes. I can't feel the soles of my feet. I've lost all my fingerprints. I have nothing left on my fingerprints, so everything feels slimy and wet when I touch it. It's this really weird sensation. Yes, I could get away with murder right now because I'd leave no fingerprints behind. So if anyone needs anyone knocked off, just drop me a comment down below. Cash payments. I'm kidding. No. We'll edit that out. No, I'll probably leave it. The biggest one though has been the feet. As I said, I used to be very active, running 5-6 days a week. And now I've been lucky to be doing a walk of 2 to 4 kilometers once every couple of days. Because I can't feel my toes, I'm doing a lot of damage to my toes when I'm walking. I don't realize that I'm actually gripping my shoes with my toes every step that I take. My little toes have just blown up like balloons. I shredded one of my toes the other night. My cat was in the backyard and another cat was having a fight within the backyard. So I tried to jump to it to help my cat, and I took one step on the concrete trying to run. My foot sort of fell out from underneath me and I tripped, and I continued to take extra steps to try and stand myself up. But the more steps I took, the more I was falling, and it was till I hit about 10 or 12 steps. And at that point I was running at full speed that I crash landed into the ground, shredded my knee up, and I realized once I'd got up and stood up, I'd actually peeled the skin back on my big toe. So it was sort of like a tire blowout. It was terrible. Wasn't just a thin layer of skin, there was a lot of skin torn up off of it. So luckily I was managed to fold that flap of skin back over, and it's healing up quite nicely. I did think I broke my fingers because when I landed on my fingers and bent them right back. I heard snaps and crackles. I thought my fingers were gone. Thankfully, still got full use of my hand. A little bit tender in the knuckles, but hey, look, take the good with the bad. Well, thanks guys for watching. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. And well, look, if you give me a thumbs down, it's bad karma, considering the topic of this conversation. Guys, if you're looking for more content, drop me comments, tell me what it is you want to see. I'm probably going to start doing a lot of gaming videos after I've done my chemo vlog, waiting for all the bits and pieces. As I said in the video I recorded yesterday, that hasn't actually dropped at this point. I can't do any creative stuff without the parts coming through from overseas. Well guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Cheers.